Hi, loves. Welcome to a new episode of the AW Confidential podcast. From Venezuela to the stages of Hollywood, Yeniffer Behrens, and she'll correct me, and I always tell people this, has carved out a career that defies every box they try to put her in. With nearly, and I'm just sort of winging this one, 100 screen credits to her name. She's played the roles, but now she's writing the script. In this episode, we explore what it really means to build a Latina legacy on your own terms and how Yeniffer took control of becoming a writer, director, and producer of her own stories. This is Hollywood Reimagined. Hi, Yeniffer.
Hi, what a beautiful intro. I'm giving you love right now.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Wow.
You're so amazing. And you're such an inspiration to all those Latinas that, are sitting in their room or at their desk and thinking, I can only get this far. You've taken it all the way. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But let's start with, what does legacy mean to you as a Latina in this industry? Because it's something that I don't think we speak enough about.
Yeah.
And we are so proud of you. We're clapping. We're clapping.
Thank you. What does legacy mean for me? You know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Whoever knows me knows that
Oh, I could tell in those 10 minutes before we jumped on screen.
it's just like that. I don't know any other way to be. And I think that the way you make people feel and who you are truly in your core, um, honoring that really without any fear or in spite of the fear that comes up regardless is the legacy that I want to that I've created to leave for my children, for them to be who they are in their core without any holds bar. Um, and also to make a difference in the world, right? Through my work, through my coaching, through my speaking, through the latest is I've been wanting to tell my story for over 25 years, and we're in post production of my film. It's called Her Choices, and I just want to go all the way with that. When you said on, and she's gone all the way, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you for saying that. I
Wow.
don't even feel like I've gone all the way yet, because there's always that I haven't done enough. I haven't done that little voice, that perfectionist that is always there. Um,
100%.
but it's really important to take a moment and acknowledge what we have accomplished, what I have accomplished thus far. And so thank you for that acknowledgement, because it reminds me to really enjoy what the journey has been, you know?
And your journey has, and it feels like it's it's sort of this second part two,
Yes.
because you have done so much. I mean, you've had roles in everything from General Hospital to Grey's Anatomy to 7 Pounds to countless other film and TV credits. At what point did you feel like you needed more and you wanted a seat at the table? Because that's what you're doing now.
Yeah. I'll tell you exactly when. The very first time I went to Sundance Film Festival, and I there was a film called Quinceañera, and I was sitting next to my friend Jesse Garcia.
I remember that movie.
And we met in improv class with Peter Murieta back in 2004 or something like that, when he had just come in town, and I was pretty new to LA myself. And just to see the excitement, to see how far um, it you could take a project independently. Like, I always wondered, how do these independent films get made? Like, why didn't I hear about that independent film? Why didn't I? And in Sundance, I learned that that I needed to take. I needed to do it for myself. I needed to start learning how to green light myself and to really that deep, 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 quiet, hidden dream of being a filmmaker and not knowing how to do it really was born during that January 2000, I believe it was 2006 or 2007. Oh my God, I came back to LA so inspired that I learned that I had to start my own production company. And how do I do that? So I went online and with my girlfriend, we're like, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this because Quinceañera won the jury award, it won the audience award, and just to hear the filmmakers tell the story on how it was done and how they had to raise the money and then how there was lots of favors and how it's about building community and it's about building team and all of that. I'm like, well, I've been doing that all my life, but I never really believed or even thought that it was something that I could do, that I can like create.
What gave you that courage that
Seeing other filmmakers at the festival. That's why
wow.
I recommend independent film festivals. Independent films are golden. They're gem. You know, there's the A-list, there's the studio films, there's the episodic, which is, you know, the money comes from corporations and just the bigger money. But independent films is so reachable. It's so doable for you and I, for any up and coming artist, anyone that is dreaming about it at home, listening to
Mhm.
me right now and saying, "Oh, I want to tell my own stories." Guess what? You can. You can. All you need to do is write it out, type it out, and really the first thing is keep it simple. Your first, for example, your first short, if you want to start with a first short, just start because everything takes money. And unless you have, how ironic, I was going to say, a rich uncle,
I don't have one of those.
neither do I, as but anyway, you can create your own community of filmmakers, of artists to do this, especially because we all have this little guy right here, right? These phones that you can create your own legacy, your own story, your own voice. Like circling back to what does legacy mean to me? It's like really allowing yourself to not just dream and think about it, but to actually birth it and speak it into existence and birth it by writing it, by sharing it with people that love you and want to see you succeed. You got to be careful who you share your dreams with.
True.
You must be careful with that. Like be super smart and share only with those that you know are your fans, your champion that want to champion you, that want to that believe in you. Because those that don't is because they don't believe in themselves either, and they're just afraid. And so it's a human condition that as a young girl I didn't understand, and I allowed people to slow me down, and I allowed people to thwart my my speed. I really feel that I could have been way further than where I am right now had I not listened or allowed those people to damp my dreams and,
Well, it
you
because
know,
it plants a seed of insecurity, doesn't
of
it?
doubt
Of
of
doubt.
who do I think I am? And I mean, it if anybody like for me, I in the past so when I came back, let me just circle back to when I came back from Sundance, I was so excited and I started my production company, True Form Films, and then I was just so gun ho that that's when it started. It was in my 30s. Some people were like, "Oh wow, that's great." Some people were like, "You're an actor. Like, what are you thinking? Pick one. You can't. You're an actor. Like, what are you going to start filmmaking now? You're going to start directing? You're going to start like no, you need to just focus on one thing." And I was like, okay. And for a moment, I listened to those people, and but that bursting drive and that bursting like desire to create my own projects and to really allow my voice to come out, it won over that, right? But it slowed me down. It took me a while, right? So legacy is about just becoming who you're supposed to be no matter what. Um, no matter what, no matter how long it takes, as
I
long
just
as
got chills.
you're on this planet, you do you. You do what you want to do, and don't listen to those voices. And you are the voice. You are the real voice. All the other voices and all the other people, there's none of your business. It's none of your business, you know? And
And did
yeah,
you did you I'm trying to sort of figure
I
out
went off on
I
a tangent, but
I no, no, no. I'm trying to like understand like your process. I know you were acting. Were you
Mhm.
writing as you were acting?
I've always been I have thousands of journals
Me too.
since I was in high school. Like I just journaled. I did the artist way. I've
Oh
done
wow.
retreats. I've always been very spiritual. So as far as writing, I've always written. However, the thought process of like, oh, now I am a screenwriter, that one was a huge gap because I'm an actor. I'm an actress and a model, and that's how I started, right? And then the writing part is like, oh, what, you think you're a writer now? Like, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, holy moly, right? So it's taken years to really step into my power as a writer, as a director, as a producer. But it's been over, let's see, since 2010. Well, actually, I got to give kudos to my beautiful husband because he and I met in 2010 as actors opposite each other in a film in Mexico.
Oh
And
wow.
we were on the same journey, jumping into wanting to produce and to create our own content. So he was doing Encounters, which is a web series, and I was at that point I was doing a more documentary style. Like um, I had started on What's the Meaning of Love, and what does love mean to you, right?
Mm.
And there was another one, growing up bilingual in the United States, because I was doing fundraisers for my son's dual language school, and it's so important to me as a Latina to make sure that my children went to a dual language school, and I think it's so important for everybody to know more than one language. So I'm a multi multilingual advocate. Like, you must learn another language. It doesn't have to be Spanish. It could be anything else, Italian, French, Russian. But the more languages you know, the more you'll be able to really become a global citizen and understand that we're all so much more alike than different. Um,
And this is so true.
so so my husband and I met, and we worked together as actors. And then we just started chatting, started talking about what else are we doing. And then he was talking about his producing. I go, oh wow, me too. I started my production company, True Form Films, and um, that was when I went to Sundance. And then we just had so much in common in that like, he invited me to write and produce an episode of the Encounters. And so we did, and that was our first collaboration as producers. And then the rest is history. Then he was really that person that I prayed for, not only as the love of my life, but as a partner in this business, for us to create um, content together and really create legacy together. So I know it's a long long answer because legacy means so much. It means
It
family,
does.
it means partnership, it means like being true to yourself, it means your voice, it means how you see yourself, but also how others see you, right? Like what is so really, I think that you just do you in the most authentic way, and you pray that the world gets you and gets your intention.
And if they don't, that's okay too. Keep it moving because you always find your tribe. That's what I'm learning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So not being attached to what you're going for and understanding that it all unfolds perfectly the way it's supposed to for you.
Oh. Ah, I always say, but this conversation is so timely, I have to tell you. Um, I noticed that you have a lot of fire, and
Oh, yeah.
we just met. I don't know if that's true or not, but has anyone ever tried to put your fire out?
Well, yes, yes, and I touched upon that, yes, especially in my 30s. In my 30s, I feel that I was so I feel like I was so everywhere. Like, literally, I was on, um, General Hospital, I was on every other episode of, like, so many shows, and then commercially, and there was one time that it was so cool because my brother calls me, he's like, "Oh my god, sis," because we're originally from Venezuela, but I was raised in Miami, and so anything that aired, they would see it in Miami before I could see it in California.
Oh,
So
okay.
my brother would call me, he's like, "Oh my God, I just saw, this scene." I'm like, "Make sure, tell me what they cut." Because it's supposed to be 3 or 4 scenes or whatever it is, and as actors, we don't have control over that. When you book a series, um, you have 5 scenes, and the 5 scenes can end up there, or only two can end up there. You never know because it runs long. And anyway, so to to answer your question, that time in my life, I felt like I was so close on the to the brink of like what my huge goal has always been. And a lot of my closest comrades started to feel that competition, that jealousy, that they just couldn't deal with it. And I was so deeply hurt. And so because of that, subconsciously, I didn't even know, I feel like I slowed myself down. Um, and and it's so interesting because I look back and I'm like, wow, I cared so much more about the relationships than actually about my dream to just keep going. But I wasn't serving anybody by feeling bad for my own success. Like, does that make sense?
It does make sense. It
And
does.
and so I think that in school, I think that there definitely should be a cognitive therapy class where or spiritual class where you are forewarned that not everyone is going to be happy for you or for your success, especially those that are really close to you, that say that they want the best for you or that they love you. What happens is that the mirror goes up and they see what they want and they haven't accomplished it, and they just can't unless they've done the inner work. So with that being said, yes, in my 30s, and I allowed it. Um, but now in my 50s, I am stronger than ever. I'm wiser than ever, and I've healed that 30-some-year-old, and I've given her permission to shine and to kick ass and to get to where where she needs to get to from the very beginning, from the inception of the dream. It's like there's no stopping me now. There is no stopping me now. And whoever is with me, I love you. And who you're not with me, I love you from afar and I forgive you. But step away. Like what we were talking about before is like, nope, no time. No time
I
for
love
this.
that. And now you have the film, Her Choices, which is personal, powerful, and brave. And I can't wait to watch. What was the hardest truth? Because here we talk about truth. This is what the platform is about.
Mhm.
So, what was the hardest truth you had to confront in the process of making this film?
The hardest truth. Oof. Well, it's taken like 25 years for me to actually do this, right? Because this happened when I was 18. And so the shame of what my family went through and me staying alone with my brother and sister. Um, and I knew that at 25, like, I'm like, that's when I'm like, I want to tell my story. I don't know how. But then when I went to Sundance, I'm like, I'm gonna tell my story, I'm doing it. And so in 2007 is when I went to the first writing class, right? So it's taken that long. And the hardest has been to get my family on board, my siblings and my mom, because it's like, el que dirán,
Y
right?
el latino. What is it? Wait, what was my mom's favorite line? I'll tell you. Lo que pasa en casa se queda en casa.
Aha, exactly. And so it's like, yeah, but no, because I'm an artist. And part of my healing process is to write, which is all these journals that I talked about earlier. And then also now, our pain is our gold as artists, as human beings, really, right? Our mess is our message. That is the gift that
Yeah.
we all get. That is the
Ah,
gift as human beings that we get. So our scars, all our breakdowns, all the crap, that's that's the clay.
and the thing is,
Create.
once you tap into that,
Yes.
you just wanna you wanna
Yeah.
stand in a corner and just tell my story. Whoever.
Yeah. Because in telling our story, we're freeing ourselves from the shame and the shackles that we have had ourselves in inside. And then we give others inspiration and permission to do the same. Because we're all walking around, like prisoners in our own mind, in our own heart. For what? No, we're
Holding on to
here.
all that weight. It's a lot
Yes.
of weight.
I know, mujer. Let that shit go.
I love it.
Sácatelo,
I
sácatelo, sácatelo.
love girl, that's how I've been feeling. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so yeah, your pain is your message, your pain is your gold, your pain is your gift to
Ugh,
transform, your responsibility to transform it into the unique gift to help others, because I believe that that's why we're here, is to help others and to support each other and to really grow together and become better versions of ourselves. And how do we do that? Through pain. That's it, through working
that's
out, right?
when I talk about turning pain into purpose, that's
Oh,
what it is. That's
that's
what it is.
it, mama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
that is it. That is it.
And
And
that's what authors oftentimes do. That's what, actors do it in their craft, musicians,
absolutely,
we all in
absolutely.
some way.
I
It,
always say acting saved my life. Acting saved my life.
I say the same thing about writing.
Hmm. And now, on a deeper level,
Yeah.
now, because even as an actor, I was still hiding, 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 and just pouring it all into other people's words and other people's, characters to bring them off the page. But now, as a writer and as a creator, like, oh, now there's the freedom. Now that's the real. Now there's the gap. The gap is like, right? And so, yes, it's so amazing. So I did get too old to play myself at 18. So now I'm playing my mother.
Oh, the irony.
It took me a little long,
You're
but
not old enough, but makeup, I'm sure, helps.
it's actually like I say it in one of my Y video. I say it's perfect that I'm playing my mother because I got to experience her on a visceral, deeper level, and so the forgiveness and the relating to her point of view and her putting myself in her shoes, the biggest gift of all.
I think you also learn to empathize with her because I remember I had a breakthrough moment in therapy, and I remember I felt like I was going through something at the time, and I thought to myself, I said, "Wow, this is what she must have felt when that
Absolutely.
happened to her."
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's powerful.
It's
It's
absolutely powerful.
and I
Yeah,
think when you get there, that is when you can forgive, I think.
on a deeper level, yeah, because
Yeah.
you think, I think that there's so many different levels of forgiveness. There's the word that, the verbal, it's like, okay,
Mija, the I'm sorry, I don't know. I just
you know, yeah, no, but then there's the like really when your words and your thoughts and your feelings are in alignment, that's where harmony lives.
100%.
You
Woo!
Yeah,
Ah, thank you for that gift. Thank you for sharing that.
of course.
So, how did producing and directing your own film reshape how you see yourself, not just as a storyteller, but as a woman?
Mm.
Mhm.
Well, it's interesting because I never thought I was gonna direct my film. I was like, I knocked on so many doors for other directors, other female directors, and they just weren't available, or they were too expensive, or it just until I finally said, well, maybe I'll go to a dear friend of mine who is a male director who's Venezuelan, and he'll be able to relate to my story because it's a Venezuelan American story. And he was booked out for 2 years, and all this was like through text, and he's like, Jenny, you are the one who needs to tell your story.
Wow.
You don't need me to direct your movie. You're the one who needs to direct your movie. And I was like, I'm reading this and I'm going, something in my heart was like, that voice in me said, he is so right. And so he's the one who just like, it was like that pop, that realization of like, I've been looking for who? I've been looking for me this whole time.
And it
And
clicked.
it clicked. And
Mhm.
what I feel is that I trust myself more. I trust myself more in my talent, in my process, in my voice, in really expressing my voice as a producer. Uh, you know, Sometimes we need to speak louder because a lot of times we're the only woman in the room, and the men are just looking at each other and they won't even look at us. And it's not even on purpose. It's just a bias. It's just what it is. And understanding that it's not personal, I think that's made me a better producer coming into a room of all boys or mostly men, right? I don't want to call them boys. Males. um, that's like knowing what to expect, or not having the expectation of being treated as equal, even though that's what we're fighting for
Yeah.
as women. The realization of, listen, Kamala didn't win, Hillary hasn't won for the simple reason that they're women and this country is not ready for the female leadership, right? And so that translates into smaller rooms just as well,
Oh, wow.
in my experience. And that's how, but knowing that and being aware of it makes me a better producer and a better leader for myself, like understanding it and not, I used to be able to, I used to try to like prove. It's like, no, 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 no. Hey guys, all right, just really being present to it and not letting it affect me so much
It's
inside
hard though. It's hard.
because you get triggered, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, let me remind me
It's like
that.
I want to bring the Latina out. Just
Mhm, right. And let me remind me, right? It's so funny because it's just as long as we accept it and we understand that that's just,
it's conditioning, I think.
yeah, that that's just a pattern that they don't even realize they're doing
Mm.
and not take it personal will go a long way. You'll have a better time. At least you'll have a better time being the leader, the producer, the director on set because I found that I had to repeat myself several times to be heard, right? But then, for example, my beautiful husband would say what I just said, and he was heard the first time. And that's the difference. And it's like, oh my God. So as a producer and director, the lesson is um, find the balance. Find the balance in your temperament and not take it personal and know that your boss, however, if you're going to surround yourself with a lot of males in your crew or your team, know that that will happen and be like, it's like kids are going to be kids, right? Kids are going to kids are going to stain their shirts, right? Babies are going to poop their diaper. You're not
Mhm.
getting mad at them. You know that that's what's going to happen. So if we see that
And
as
you can't change people. So
you can.
trying
You just go, okay, it's your response. Like, how are you going to respond to adversity? Like, who are you going to be in the face of it? So, yeah, oof, this could be a
that
whole episode on its own.
wow, that's wisdom right there. That's you've evolved in a way that I don't it's even trying to grasp that. It's like be the bigger person. You can only be the bigger person so many times.
Right, right. No, no, but you got to, you know why? Because when you know the tools, when you've done the inner work, you're the one who knows better. And that's why sometimes it's so frustrating. It's like, oh, I know better. Let me just, I got to take the high road, like, because I know better. I know what's happening. But, Mauricio and I have gotten we have a really beautiful synergy in in our work now because just with a look, he knows. And then I know, and I'm like, you take this one, babe, because I know he's the one's going to be listened to before me.
I
Me.
love that. That sounds like a little loophole there, but I love
It
it.
is. It is. It's like, oh my God. And then there's the joke, right? Like every Latino team or whatever has their white person.
Token white. Yes, we've heard that.
Right? And so for women, it's like you got to have that male that it's like, go, you say it so that the rest of the males can listen before, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Drop the gem there.
and let go of the ego. Women, we are so powerful. We don't even need to exercise ego at all. You know what I mean?
I do.
It's not easy, but when we are aware of it, oh, we're magicians.
We need to have a different conversation. But I'm sure we will. So if I love these questions because they're really you just have to think about them a little more.
Mhm.
If your life were a script, what scene would you rewrite to honor the real you?
Hmm. If my life were a script, which scene? Which scene would I rewrite to honor the real me? Gosh. Ooh, that's a deep one. That's a hard one. Did you ask Mauricio that?
No, I don't ever ask. No, nobody gets the same questions. Just
Really? Oh, I love that. I love that.
no.
That's awesome. Okay, let me think. I think that whew, that's a good one. I really think that believing those that those that dimmed my light when they called me pushy, when they called me self-centered, when they called me selfish, when they called me fake, when
Mm,
they called me opportunist, um, I would I would definitely rewrite my response to that.
I love that.
And I-
What would your response be now?
my response now would be no response. It would be like, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but obviously, you know, you don't know me and it's okay.
You you are very gracious, let me tell you. And we only just met, but I can see that. So thank you for sharing that with me. So one of the things I like to do towards the end, I sometimes surprise our guests with a little question from
Uh-huh.
my little box. I didn't write these,
Oh, okay.
so I didn't ask Mauricio, but I will ask you.
My
You
baby.
get you get all the treats. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see. Ooh, this is good. Okay. What made you smile in the last 2 weeks?
What made me smile in the last 2 weeks? We've had the most amazing family adventure here in New York. My daughter turned 13, so she is an official
Oh,
teenager.
good luck.
Yeah, it's been, and my son got his first job straight out of Princeton University.
Oh, that's right. Congratulations. Mauricio did tell me.
Yeah, he
My daughter graduated from University at Buffalo in May,
oh,
and she
congratulations.
got engaged the same week, believe it.
Oh, wow.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
huge. Banner
Yeah,
year for both of us.
yeah.
Um, just us walking together, the four of us, taking pictures. Um, like just yesterday, we walked down, we've had this adventure. We're like gypsies right now. We've been bouncing around from Airbnb to Airbnb, and now we're in Union City. It's our last week here, and we walked to just venture out and see where's the closest bodega and the closest. We were looking for food, and we ended up finding a Venezuelan restaurant called
Uh-huh.
Maracaibo, literally a 7-minute walk down the street.
Did it take you back to your
Oh, so much so that
uh,
I cried. Like I was literally crying.
oh,
I'm like eating an empanada and I'm crying. I got to send you the video. I'm like, "This is like literally, and my kids
oh.
just laughing. And just for me to share my culture through this amazing restaurant that is so authentic, the music, just the warmth of our people. It was so magical. Like I loved them asking for all this food and tori, which is our our chocolate milk. It's the best. And then it was amazing. And so to
Wow.
see their little faces light up because they were both born in California, you know,
So they don't
they
they
don't
don't
they
know.
don't get it, right? So that's what's made me smile the most is just being with them and having moments like that it's our tribu, like my
Mhm.
beautiful husband says, mi tribu, we're together, and we're home because home is where we are together, and it's just been a really beautiful, beautiful July. And yeah, in the last 2 weeks,
Those are
but really in
blessings.
the last month, it's been amazing.
I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you so much for sharing your story and just sharing a little piece of you with me and with our community. Can you let us know anything about her choices yet? How we can learn more about you?
Yes, of course. Well, thank you for having me. Your beautiful heart is transparent, and I appreciate you. I really do. But yeah, I
Thank
see you.
you.
I see you and I feel you. You're
Thank
beautiful
you.
and be unstoppable, mama. That's all I gotta say. Whatever, be be unstoppable. Um, yes, you can follow me at True Yen on Instagram. There's also an Instagram page for Her Choices Film. And the film is being edited right now. So the goal is by the end of August to have a final cut. And then we will be moving it towards the color and music and sound and all of that. So the goal is by the end of the year, 2025, we'll have it ready to be launched into the world. Um, and um, and yeah, stay tuned. The big, big, big dream is to make it into a series because I did have to cut a lot of material. And so I'm working on the book of the scenes that were not able to be in the script. So oh wow, I'm sharing it with you. You're the first one that I share that with.
Oh, well,
Actually
that's an
working.
honor. Thank you.
Yeah, that I'm working on a book to launch to launch at the same time, early next year, spring. Um,
Well, we look forward to that.
yeah, yeah, there's just so many scenes, so many scenes that could not be in a film. That's the one thing about the independent filmmaking. Um, you gotta keep it down below 2 hours, and like, but I have so much material. I have so much to
Well,
say.
well, I one of the things is we need these stories, so don't give up.
I
We need
won't.
to
I
we need
won't.
to see these.
Yes, yes, yes. So that and the journey continues. We never stop evolving. We
Ah,
never stop
no,
evolving. And
no.
the minute that we think that we've arrived, guess what? You've just arrived here, but there's much more. There's more, there's more of you to discover and to share with the world.
I just found out about that, but I'll tell you after we stop recording.
Okay.
The truth is, legacy isn't built by waiting for permission. It's claimed by choosing yourself again and again. So, whatever your story is, take the pen back, be bold enough to live life on your terms, and make sure your name is on the credits. Thank you for joining us on this episode, and thank you, Jennifer, for being such a light.
Thank
Thank you, loves. Thank you. I
you.
will speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.